listening to All Burgundy and Gold Errrything, powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM, Hopewell, Virginia. Wole and Glenn are your hosts. The homies Mo and Ray are out. We also have Bowie TV president and Seawall Sports and Entertainment's Candi Waller on the episode. What is going on, Candi?
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing?
Fine. What's up, Candi? How you doing?
I'm making it, you know.
You're making it. Hey, Candi, it's been a busy day for you, Candi. It's been a busy week.
It's been a busy week.
Yeah,
busy week.
It's a lot going on. Training is a grind.
It is. It's exciting times, though, right? It's exciting times.
It is.
I know.
It's been fun.
I know. That's right. Before we get into the show, to the actual show, let's get into the particulars. Hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Just search All Burgundy and Gold Errrything. Also tweet us at ABG_Errrything. Hit us up on IG at ABG_Errrything. And like our All Burgundy and Gold Errrything Facebook page. Do not forget to subscribe to our All Burgundy and Gold YouTube chat, All Burgundy and Gold Errrything. Excuse me, I'm tripping. YouTube channel as well. Hey, hit that red subscribe button. Like this video. You know what I mean? Keep liking it, keep subscribing, and build up the channel and the show as well, man. So you helping us. We appreciate it. It's going to help us fly. So keep doing it. Anyway, it's time for the pregame. Here's what we have on tap. We'll talk about the Commanders' joint practice with the Baltimore Ravens, and we'll preview Monday night's preseason game as well. All right, Candace, get right into it. You talked about being at camp, the Commanders and Ravens joint practice. You were there for the last 2 days. How intense have practices been?
It's definitely been intense. I mean, from the start, it's been intense. I was reminded and just thinking through actually today how, it was really important for Coach Rivera to have guys on the team of good character, like good guys, right? That was the theme, right? Good guys, good character, well-respected, mannerable, just you name it, all of those things. And then with the whole narrative around players complaining, which that's a whole nother, because several of us in media took coach's comments in different ways, right? Versus, complaining or whether there were questions about Coach Bieniemy. So, but then it turned into a narrative of them being soft. So it's like, okay, couple, these are a group of good guys. Couple that with last week of now the narrative is they soft. And so the Ravens were like, aggressive. They were aggressive with them.
Good.
And they weren't having it.
Okay.
I think they thought it was okay, and it wasn't.
They thought it was sweet. They thought it was sweet.
I mean, from a couple of the videos went viral, right? Yeah. So you clearly see, Mark Andrews body slamming Danny Johnson. You clearly see Wallace punching, Emmanuel Forbes, and he hit about. I mean, that was like both days. Like the Ravens being the one, like, I'm gonna hit you upside your head, and you're not gonna do nothing. And
we can test your manhood, dog. We want to see what test your manhood.
Man, this one dude failed me, but it's okay. I said on the other show, but I'll say Cody Barton failed me because he was right beside. He was right by Danny Johnson when that happened. When Danny Johnson got body slammed by Andrews, and I ain't see him do a darn thing.
Hey, yo, so you know what? See, that's how it is. We gotta be in the locker room, right? Because guess what? You gotta support your dude. You gotta go put hands on him. You gotta go put hands on Mark Andrews. I'm sorry. You gotta go put hands on Mark Andrews.
I'm really interested. I'm interested to know what happened when when folks look at the clip, like teammates look at the clip. They probably didn't see it at that real time or didn't pay any mind, but I'm sure like they seen it, like you said, it went viral. I wonder if they had that talk, hey, my man, like, I'm just saying, like, next time can you just have my back?
Right. I mean, it was definitely, on the offensive side, with the Commanders offense, Ravens defense, just before all of that kicked off, there was an issue with one of the, and I still can't quite call who it was on Ravens defense, literally throwing Cole Turner out of bounds, like just throwing.
I heard about that.
And that turned the entire offense up. You know,
Yeah.
Logan Thomas wasn't even in pads, and he was, you know, hype. But in that regard, I will commend the Ravens defense because they checked their guy. Like, you can't do that. So that was a little different. But on the offensive line front, Sam Cosmi today was just, he was sick of everybody. He was tired of the brutality. You know, he wasn't trying to he was trying to fail the test. Like, no, you're not gonna keep doing this to me. So he was upset.
I do want to jump on that. So if you had to, you know, your opinion, did they hold their own? Like Washington, they held their own?
Yes, I believe so. I believe so. I mean, I think today, if we're talking Commanders O-line, Ravens defensive line, I didn't watch as much of that today. Yesterday was much more evenly matched.
Okay.
They were much more, you know, today, maybe it was just, you know, I looked across the field and I was like, they might be struggling a little bit today, you know, for not certain which reasons. I spent more time with the Ravens offense, Commanders defense today than yesterday. But, you know, yesterday, the O-line needs this work. The offense needs the work. So they absolutely held their own. There was nobody getting mollywopped by a long shot or just somebody just all day long. Like, this is just bad, you know.
So in terms of, I'll ask this one because actually it's more street-ish. Did they hold their own in terms of like not being pumped? Like I'm a big believer in that's why I believe in.
I mean, Eric Bieniemy was pissed though. You know, he was upset because see, it's so funny, right? You know, Eric Bieniemy, how his temperament is just of excellence and being the standard of excellence.
I love it.
And accountability, right? But when it comes to these fighting, even when there's been spats in Commanders practice, he does not like that.
Okay.
He feels it is a waste of time. It is a waste of practice time. So yesterday he was not happy. And today, when the Commanders offensive line and the Ravens defensive line got into it, and a ton of the offensive players ran over there, defense that just, he lit into everybody. He lit them up because he just, it's a reputation thing. Well, yes, the players weren't having it. Let me be really clear. You saw Cody Barton standing around and not doing anything. Oh, no. That was not.
That wasn't the real vibe. I need that. That's what I need.
That wasn't the real vibe at all.
Look,
you
like,
need
it was
that.
very much you're going to start it, but we're going to finish it because we not, don't play. Like, we good guys, but hey, you swung first. So, you know, we can't practice if y'all like. You know, it was really that type of
good. I need that energy. I need that energy.
I need that energy too. But you know, you can be a good character guy. You can be a good character guy, but still don't get punked, right?
Yeah,
I can be a good character guy and still got that dog in me, right?
Sam Cosmi was mad today. Like, he was irate because I guess he just felt like they were picking, and I think they were. You know, they were being bullies, and you know, he wanted to scrap. You could tell he was furious, but they didn't want to get, you know, people kicked out of practice or anything. But yeah, they were one time, I know yesterday, Coach Harbaugh asked Coach Rivera, like, come over here and talk to your guys, man. They won't, we can't calm them down.
That's good.
That's good.
But it was his guys that started it though. So it was like, okay. But he definitely had Coach Rivera come over there, like, come talk to him, please. So
I want that energy. I want that consistent energy. I want pit bulls. So I'm glad if that's what you could be a nice pit bull. My brother had a nice pit bull. So you can be a nice pit. Like, I'm cool with that. But when it's time to attack, it's time to attack. So I'm all for it. But let's get into to a question everybody wants to know, you know, because, you know, we had a great, not great. Well, we had a really good preseason game in Sam Howell. How did he look in these 2 days of these practices?
You know, Sam Howell he's so, everybody's consistently used this word to describe Sam Howell, which is poise. If he's rattled, I haven't been able to pick up on it yet.
Sweet.
I mean, he is a great poker face. If he's under distress when the O-line is breaking down, we can't tell. You know, he's just wanting to learn, wanting to take corrective action. wanting to do, the right thing to put the team in the best position to succeed. And he's learning every single day. You can see the difference. You can see the progress. I thought he did extremely well, especially yesterday. But again, I think the O-line had a better day against the Ravens defensive line than they did today. But Sam Howell is doing well. He is. I think I've said this before to you all. The quarterback room is better. Period. They are better. But Sam Howell specifically, he is doing really well. I know that's the person that everybody's got their eyes on. But he is adjusting, he's learning, and the guys can tell. Even the Ravens defense has comments on him. Like, he just looks so comfortable. He looks calm. Like,
that's from playing in that pro style offense in North Carolina. And you got a chip on your shoulder and you got ice water in your veins. That cat, he understands what his assignment is, and he understands I can't be rattled, right? If I am rattled, never let them see you sweat, right? Let me be here and do my assignment. And I think that's from coaching staff. I think that's from being in a pro style offense while he was in college, being around good coaches and understanding who he is. All right. When you understand who you are and what your capability are, look at some of the great quarterbacks. They understand who they are, right? The Tom Brady's in the world, the Peyton Mannings, those guys. I'm not saying Sam Howell's that yet, but when you have a good starter, they know who they are.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because you hear the same thing about Sam Howell even from back in North Carolina. We had Isaac from Lockdown Tar Heels, and he talked about Sam Howell, talked about how that's one thing. He's a confident individual. He's quiet and poised, but he's very, very confident. And even another Commanders content creator who's very familiar with the Carolina program, and Darian. And Darian came on our show, and Darian was he stated that again, Sam Howell, this is something about him. He's spoken to Sam Howell before. He said this dude got swag. This dude just is a confident dude. Like all that talk about, him not starting a lot of games. If you know him, like he ain't even sweating that. Like this dude he about it. Like he believes he's the best quarterback on the field, and that's something. Even though true or false, that's something you want. So yeah, I think what you're saying, it kind of it matches with when we talk to certain people about Sam Howell. Like, okay, that's him. He is that person.
Yeah. I don't think the trash talk. I think he's just ready to rock. He's just ready to roll, and it's almost like that's the story. Going back to your comment about preseason game 1, I feel like it's not being talked about enough. How solid his game was on Friday.
I agree. Thought it was solid, man.
With so many complaints about the O-line.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
With all the inconsistency, complaints about the O-line, is like, but Sam was all right though.
Yeah, and it's crazy. This is why some people, it's wild. Some people are just gamers, and they just can just ball. Like regardless of the situation, they can ball. And I remember even when I watched them play preseason last season, as the first thing that came to my mind when I saw him play, I was like, oh boy, a baller.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even have to watch camp, whatever. I know people were talked about him in camp, saying he had. At times he looked like he was the best quarterback in camp, and at times he looked like he didn't know the playbook or whatever. Like he was like a rookie, right? And then when I remember watching him, I was like, I gotta see preseason. I want to see what it was. And then I watched him, and everybody going to dissect. He's late on his pass, so he's do this, he does that. But when I watch a player, it's real simple for me. Are you a baller? Like that's all I need to know. If you're a baller, I can rock with you. Like you may not see things quick, but you'll make a play on another end and make a positive play out of it because you're a baller. Yeah, you're young, but you're still a baller. You know how to make plays. And that's one thing I saw from him in preseason last year. That's why I was like, okay, like, let me see what I saw in that preseason game, those preseason games, and then see if it's the same thing I saw. I'm going to see the same thing as that Cowboys game, right? And it was the same thing. He was a baller. Like, that's the one thing. He's a baller. A baller is a baller. And what I saw against the Browns in that preseason game, like you mentioned, that fourth down play, like he went out, he rolled out, he didn't see it, he rolled out, stalled time, and found Turner. Baller. Ran for the first down. Baller. Like he made, like even with a bad O-line, he can make plays. He's a baller. Like we can argue, like folks can argue and say, oh man, he was there on this throw, or he held the ball too long, or this, that, and the other. But he's a baller.
But you know, I
Accept
think
that.
you said that. You said that early in the year. You always been. I give you credit. You've been a Howell fan since the beginning of preseason last year, and
Yeah.
you've been seeing it throughout the season.
Mhm.
That Sam Howell, and you can't teach. It's effort and competitive nature, right? And it's always how some reporters, who reporters are talking about, where they
Yeah.
call it, right?
Mhm.
You in the early '90s and early 2000, late '90s, early 2000, Brett Favre didn't have the mechanics, right? That everybody thought he had. He didn't have the height, right? He didn't have all that. They just say he's a baller. That's why he's nicknamed the gunslinger, right?
Yes,
It is not.
yes.
It's not always fundamentally sound, but
Yeah.
it gets the job done, right?
Facts,
And that's why I
facts.
look at Sam Howell. It's not always fundamentally sound. He's getting the job done. And guess what? Even at a bad O-line, he still commands that offense. If you watch that game the other night, even when they got this, after they got the safety and all that, he still commanded the offense and told the offense line, "Let's get together, drive down the field, and let's get it." And he commanded the offense. And what I think was 9 for 13 or 9 for 12 or something like that.
9 for 12. 9 for 12.
9 for 12. And so again, he commanded offense, got them back on track, and they was able to score. And that's what you will look for in your quarterback. When adversity happens, is he able to get your people back on track and the O-line back on track and score?
But I do, Candi. I want to go to something you said that I want to go to something you said, and I want to kind of talk about that. So you said the Ravens players also said that this dude was poised when speaking to him. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, a few of them said that specifically, and unfortunately, I know he's headed to IR, having to have the foot surgery. Marlon Humphrey.
Wow, that's amazing.
He talked about him because people were asking, what do you think about Sam Howell? He's on the defense, when it gets to Commanders offense, and he was like, man, he was really comfortable back there. He good. He's still looking for Sam. I keep saying Sam Howell. There's so many Sams, but Sam Howell is the play isn't over till it's over.
Yeah, I agree.
He's going to still be looking for the option. I'm glad you brought up that 4th and 3, because some people don't understand still the importance of preseason.
Yeah.
Right. It's you got to enact real life. Real game simulate. You got to do this. So you can't be afraid of the 4th and 3 on week 1. You can't be afraid of the 4th and 3 in week 10. You can't be afraid of it, right? So play it out. We're gonna go for it because we already down. We're gonna go for it. And y'all not getting out the game until y'all score 7. So situational football, and then they made it happen. Like you said, that connection to Turner, it was a minute, like, oh God, and here we go. He was inside Turner, very next play, 26-yarder to Jahan, they score 7. And then the field goal, you get 7. And that's what he's going to do. Like you said, that safety, that is an excellent example of Sam Howell. He wasn't flustered at all.
Yeah. No. He's got a lot of ability. Like
that's a hell of a poker face.
He's got a lot of ability, man. I think it's easy to kind of always trying to find a reason why something won't work, but sometimes you just gotta look at it for what it is. Yeah, just gotta look at it what it is. Like, yeah, we can use the easy low hanging fruit. All right, he started 1 game. This is really his rookie year. All that type of stuff.
Nobody has film on him yet.
Nobody's film on him yet. It's easy. Like that's easy. That's easy stuff. That's easy. That's not that hard. Like that's not hard. But really, when you just look at a player, like that's how I look at a player, and you can just say, oh, he could be a problem. Like it's not hard to say that. Like he could be a problem. Like I'll give an example, and we're gonna just fast forward, go into the other, like to actual Commander talk. But I'll give this example. Like there would be no Russell Wilson if Pete Carroll didn't see a baller. What I mean by that is Matt Flynn was getting paid the bag to be the starting quarterback. Russell Wilson was the fourth round pick. But what happened was he watched Russell in practice, and he was like, oh, baller. Oh, I think that's my starting quarterback. Like, I know I already paid this dude the bag, but that's my starting quarterback.
That's the dude I need.
And Russell, it ain't like Russell was going through progressions all the way. He was just and doing all that, but no, Russell was a baller. Like he was a baller, and it fit. So that's my thing. Like for Sam Howell, it's easy to say this, that, and the other, but when you watch him play, and to me, watch him play against the opposition, not even in camp, but the opposition. Like you see him against the Ravens, it's an opposition, even though it's joint practice, but it is the opposition. So I'm cool with that. Like the opposition, the Cleveland Browns. Like, and he comes out and gives you that type of performance. He's a baller. Like, and that's and to me, it's consistent. He's been consistently doing this. Like people want to hate, but he's been consistently doing this. But I'm gonna get to it. Like let's get into like camps in terms of the joint camp. Your highlights. What were your highlights in today's joint camp?
I'm gonna stick with Emmanuel Forbes.
Everybody's talking about him. He's really killing.
Let me tell you something. I said something about him rookie camp. I said, oh, no wonder Jack Del Rio was smiling like that draft night. Did y'all see the picture of Jack and how
I didn't see it? I didn't see a picture. He was cheesing like that.
Yes.
Oh, I ain't see it. He was cheesing.
I
Okay.
haven't seen Jack.
That man don't smile like that either
since he been in this town. He was elated. He was over the moon. And one thing that I've been paying attention to, right, in practice, they putting Emmanuel Forbes on Terry. They putting Emmanuel Forbes on Jahan. They're putting Emmanuel Forbes on Logan Thomas. I said, that's wild. I said, so that means they're going to be putting Emmanuel on all the top receivers.
That's good, though.
What they're going to do. And sure enough, they line him up with Odell. And Lamar wasn't really messing with him too much. Now, when Odell might have lined up on Kendall Fuller, Lamar going to throw it his way.
Kendall's getting got? Kendall was getting got? Kendall was getting work?
Yes.
I told you, Kendall's a slow starter, brother.
Yes. I'm just
Kendall's a slow start. He's a slow starter. But he better be careful back there because them young fellas are coming.
So how's St-Juste look?
You know, St-Juste got worked by Zay Flowers a time or two today.
I heard Zay was putting in some.
Zay Flowers lit. He's good. He's
heard.
Great. He's excellent. He definitely got work, but in sevens, he did well. Sevens, the DBs did well. They really did. You know, I think they got enough. Everybody woke up in those one-on-ones. It was like, whoa. So I Emmanuel Forbes, I'm gonna keep saying this because I need people to hear me. Antonio Gibson is having an excellent camp. He had an excellent OTAs. He's had an excellent camp so far, even in his one-on-ones. Really, really good, really stout, really strong. He can block. You know, he's getting stronger. He's getting faster. He's starting to be a leader on the offense, which is great to see. And then, you know, the wide receivers, they got a good group. They have a really good group. I continue to tell people, keep your eye on the kick return, punt return situation. Everybody knows I'm a special teams person. Kaz Allen, you very well have that job. And in critical situations, you probably see Jahan or Antonio Gibson go back there. What does that mean for Dax? But
I know what it means for Dax.
Right.
What I've been asking for the whole time. I've been I'm not a Dax fan. I'm
scared that he's going to stay. I'm scared.
I'm
hearing stuff, but I'm scared.
So in the Friday's game, you know, when he went back there, because who had the ball first when they did that? It was Kaz. And then the next, you know, when he stepped out of bounds, that's
what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I was like, you keep blowing it in games, that's what's going to seal the deal for you. But
if he keep doing that,
because they have options at receiver.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know why. Like, Ars, you were there for the one-handed catch. I'm guessing you were there for the one-handed catch.
Yeah.
Dax had.
Oh yeah.
You was there for it.
I mean,
they went viral
on the sideline.
Yeah. So you was there for the one-handed catch. You was there, right? So everybody was gassing that. And then, like, I didn't like what Ron said. Like, Ron had said something about Kazir Allen about how like he still has a lot to work on. Like it's the language he used that I'm not really a fan of. And then I was like, oh damn, you trying to keep Dax. Like,
but not even that, but if you look at Friday's game, Kaz does have a lot to work on. He did well with returns, but he still only got to the 20-yard line.
He wasn't even talking about return. He was talking about like a receiver. But you're right. I know you're talking about he was going wide a lot. That's the thing. He was
going wide. He wasn't hitting in the hole. So we're looking at the special teams. He wasn't going with a scheme per se.
Yeah, but even I'll take that over, Dax. But like he was talking like as a receiver, and that was bothering me because I was like, I don't even look at Dax as a receiver because I don't think he's needed as a receiver. Like you got Pringle, you got Diami. There really isn't no room for you. Like you a special teamer for real. Like that's what you are. So that's what you are. Like, you're a special teamer. Like,
they use AG for a number of things.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like AG.
I mean, but you got to think about AG between AG and Brian Robinson on Friday night. I think AG was targeted 8 times. Robinson was targeted like 7 out of the backfield. I mean, out of being receiver. You know what I'm saying?
I will say that I will say this. I want to see more from. I mean, Cleveland. Like, that line was horrible. Like, Washington's line was horrible. So I didn't feel like I got to see the best out of Gibson. Like, I didn't see the best I wanted to see out of Gibson. So I am interested to see, like, because I have heard a lot of good things about Gibson, but I do want to see Gibson in space. I want to see, like, get that opportunity to see him in space, because I remember you saying this earlier about Gibson, and I read your tweets, and I've seen, like, even you on the show, like, you've talked about Gibson a lot, and I want to see it. I believe it. Believe me, I'm a big believer in Antonio Gibson. It's just that line again Saturday night wasn't helping anybody for real. Even Brian Robinson, he had like one good run, but that line wasn't helping anybody.
Yeah, it's Brian, I've seen him have some one-on-ones aren't his forte. That's not,
I wouldn't figure.
No.
I believe it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be.
Not one-on-ones. That's he's strong.
Uh.
But when you need a few more yards, but in order for him to be successful, that's how I've been saying that, the offensive line is a thankless job. The offensive line is the unit that must be effective in order for your offense to execute. If your offensive line doesn't hold, it could break the whole play down.
Yeah.
And so it remains to be seen, especially when they're going up against starters. Like, you saw the offensive line maybe get better once all the backups started coming in. The backup offensive line, the backup line, everybody's getting better once the depth chart starts to come in to fill up the rest of the preseason game. But that starting core is going to have to be better for certain.
Yeah, I totally agree.
It's going to have to be better.
It does. It's like, but it's definitely it's interesting. Like, that line is interesting. Like, Cosme, I've heard good things about Cosme. I've heard good things about it's Cosme for real. I ain't gonna lie to you.
That's it. Everybody else
he goes one-on-one with Deron in practice. So that's good work. I mean, they're getting good work. But I don't know. I haven't gotten the sense that anybody is panicked in real life, unless everybody's just keeping a good, poker face like Sam Howell.
Got you.
They're just trying to keep the work going. And like I said yesterday, not so much today, but yesterday, the offensive line did pretty good against the Ravens' defensive line. I was good with their one-on-ones, and I was good with their, team work as well. I was like,
I think the more they get with the playbook, the more aggressive they get, the more comfortable they get playing with each other. One thing about an O-line, you gotta have the consistency, and they gotta build that trust among each other. Once they get that, I think this O-line will get a little bit better. I think when we start having more success in the running game, they'll get better. And you're not putting too much on Sam Howell. I'm a big proponent of running. If they can run the football, they'll be able to do. They can run the football. They can be running the football for offensive line gives you confidence. So when they can run that, they'll have more confidence, and then they will be able to do everything else they need to do in this. I want to go back real quick to Emmanuel Forbes. Have you seen the weight gain? Because that had been a bigger issue when he was coming out of college, that he was too small, right? He couldn't play here. Have you seen the development in his body since he's been at Commanders camp?
I haven't. I mean, because I was talking about that the other day. I was just like, he looks the same. But he said he got bigger. He said he got bigger, so I took his word for it.
Good for him. Weight shaming that dude. They weight shaming that dude, man.
I'm not weight shaming. I've heard he say
not you,
I heard the
you,
same thing. I already got bigger, so I ain't been at camp. So
no, they said he got bigger, and I'm like, okay.
Man, good for him, man.
Right.
Stay your size, bro. They weight shaming you, man.
He's welcoming. He's so confident.
Exactly.
But the nicest kid. That's what it's Ron Rivera did a great job on these nice people. That when you turn it on, they goons. Like, I'm going back to Sam Cosme, how angry he was today. But Sam Cosme's one of the nicest people.
Is he really?
He is. I mean, you had to talk to Darrell about that. They've had some funny conversations.
You look at some of the Joe Gibbs. Look at some of the Joe Gibbs players when this team was good, right? There were some of the nicest people, the Darrell Greens, right? But it was ballers, right? The Art Monks who never said anything, right?
Yeah, he was nice to the media, though. I heard that.
but he was nice to
I love
people.
Art
You know
though.
what I'm
I like
saying?
Art though.
Art nice to people. But again, you got those guys, and that's what I remind them. Emmanuel Forbes, the Terry McLaurin's, those guys, they don't get in trouble. They don't say much. But when you turn on that, when you hit that flip of Jahan Dotson, when you turn on the flip and put him on Sunday on that field, it is totally a different story with this team. And you can see the shape and the buzz that's around this team because there's talent and their athletes that are there.
Yeah,
I like
Terry
folks.
was
I like
really
folks.
hype yesterday. Terry was really
Good for him, man. Good for
hype.
him.
And so I'm seeing even a different, I mean, he's competitive.
What's up?
I mean, I'm not, this is just my observation. They are enjoying Sam Howell.
I think so. I think they are. I think they're enjoying. I think the guys. It's why I think they're enjoying Sam Howell. And even for the little punk folks who complained about Eric Bieniemy, I think the guys who've been coach hard before in the past, they're enjoying Eric Bieniemy. Like I feel like people like Terry McLaurin, Samuel. I feel like players like because they play Ohio State, even as bad as the person Urban Meyer is, he is a different type of coach to play for. He's an aggressive coach. And the Bama, I'm sure the Bama like Brian Robinson's like I got that Nick Saban. Like what we talking about?
Right.
Like who we talking about here, man? What you talking about? Like so guys like that, I feel like they're endearing to it because they've dealt with this. Like they've been coached up to win championships. Like that's their experience. Like the one thing about how the Commanders draft is like they draft, they try to draft folks from winning cultures in college a lot of times. Like that's why they got Bama kids. That's why they got a lot of Bama kids because Bama, all they know is the win, right? That's the culture. And folks from Ohio State, like all they know, like is how to win.
Except championships.
Yeah, but they won. They haven't won one in a while. But yeah, but you know what I mean. They get to the playoffs all the time. So like that's why like they get those type of players. So I mean, I'm happy, man. I usually like players who get in trouble because I like goons. But I'm cool for a nice person. You know what I'm saying? Like a nice, as long as you mean on the field, I'm good. Like I know goons are. I know folks get in trouble. They're gonna be goons on the field and off the field. So I'm cool with that. But if they're gonna be goons on the field and not get in trouble, that's great. That's even better. That's amazing. I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how it is. And let me go back to the offense because the thing with the whole Eric Bieniemy thing, I was been very excited about that culture shift and change, right? But now I'm seeing players do and say to each other things that Eric Bieniemy
this is great, man.
Say.
That's good.
So he don't have to say it.
This is good, man.
Now he's still in it, but even like the tempo, the speed, hurry up and get in the huddle. When your rep is over, come on, get off the field. So the other, so the second team can go, third team. They're policing each other now. Like
I love it.
Speed, come on. But we're used to that.
That's a sign of a good team. When you can have the players start policing themselves and the coaches don't have to do it, that is a sign of a good team. Especially when they're not barking against each other. Once someone tells them and they go ahead and execute, that is because if you look at Kansas City, right? They police themselves. That's a good team. Teams that won championship. Look at the Patriots when they was rolling, right? They policed themselves. It was the Brady and Belichick way. They knew how to come in an organization and maneuver that way. And I think that's the way the culture is being created here. That look, this is how you're going to do it. If we want to win, right? This is what needs to take place. And I think that's why I think Ron is taking a little bit of backseat to Bieniemy. I think a lot of other people are taking a backseat to Bieniemy because there's a culture shift in the Washington organization. And when, with that being said, what was Rivera and Bieniemy's thought of today's practice?
When I chatted with Coach Bieniemy coming off the field, because we typically will chat or whatever, he doesn't like the wasting time. He doesn't like that. All that fighting, it was bothering his spirit. He didn't like that, I'm like, "Oh, you good?" He was like, "Yeah, but we had missed a few minutes there." And he's still worried about the minutes they missed. But it's like it's still work.
It's not tripping though. It's not tripping. I've been around some coaches like that, right? And I've been around in organizations, teams, and this is on the high school level. Those minutes make a difference when you get into game situations because different game situations you may learn is the conditioning it, is the teaching aspect of it, is the moment of it. You need those minutes back because you can't get them back. It's something, and especially when you're offensive minded coach, there was something that you wanted to get done. There was something that you wanted to see.
I'm with you. You know why it makes it so funny? Because the dude is an aggressive dude. So I wouldn't even peg him as that type of person. Like I would pick him to be like, yeah, get him. That's what I'm talking about. But not like, dang, man, y'all messing up my minutes, man. I'm trying to get more time.
Yeah, he's not.
All offensive offensive coordinators want the most they can get out of practice, dog.
That is
And they
funny,
go
Yeah, I mean,
man.
I was shocked too.
I believe it. That's dope.
When
That's
things
dope.
started going, when things went south that
That's
Friday at Commanders practice, it was like, all right, they need to hit somebody else because this is getting all right. Now they turning on each other. Now everybody tired and they hot, you know.
Yeah, they hot. Yeah, no,
That's when I realized he was that way. I was like, yo, he's mad that they're fighting because he's like, we don't have time to waste. I'm like, you are like, I thought he was gonna be with it.
yeah,
No.
I thought he bought the smoke. I thought he bought all that smoke.
No
I was
way.
thinking like fights breaking down. I was thinking like, oh yeah, he like don't
Like,
back
he was
down.
eating it up.
Yeah,
No.
like smack that dude right back. That's what I'm talking about.
If it's done on defensive time, he's with it. But when it's on his offensive time,
Oh yeah, right.
Okay.
it's a totally different story.
The offensive players out there,
That is funny.
He don't have time for it.
I do have a question. I do have an extra question about Sam Howell, but it's something that Coach Rivera hasn't really announced yet. I know he was asked about, with Sam Howell, like the starter, and he said he will make his decision later. So, like, what's that all about? Like, I'm trying to, like,
he's talking about, wait a minute, and because funny enough, I'm gonna go back to Sam Howell. I'm gonna go back to how he sees everything, even when he sees a lot of stuff, because he's pretty cool with all the media. Yeah. So he made a joke when he walked past, he spoke to Donna, David Harris, he spoke to everybody. Yeah. He looked over there at me, he said, "You missed my presser." And I looked, I was like, "You told me?" He was like, "Yeah, you missed my presser." And I was like, "Facts." Because I was over here. And never you said over there. But he just was joking. Like, he was cool. He's a cool guy, Yeah. But that was like the first time I saw him smile or whatever. I was like, all right, he cool. Yeah. But like, I'm not sure what that's about. I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay. I have to go back and kind of see like, what's going on here? Because from a preseason perspective, I would think he would still be getting to work. Maybe not preseason game 3, but I would anticipate in my mind, even expect the same kind of thing. You play until you get 7.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They need to.
Yeah.
I don't think they're off the hook. I don't think anybody has arrived.
Yeah.
Or made it, but I know that there was going to be, I knew that this week was a big week for a lot of people.
Okay. Yeah.
Including Sam Howell in just their progress, development, where they think they are. But I don't think they've progressed in a way where you could say, I mean, I know, you don't have to play the rest of the preseason. No, you play until you get 7.
Yeah, of course.
And maybe, after that, he says, okay, Sam will be the week 1 starter.
Gotcha.
Maybe he just is like, I don't have to make a decision right now. I don't have to tell you. Because sometimes Ron can be that way. He can just be ambiguous for no reason at all.
Yeah, because it's strange to me only because you hear all the reports I trust your reporting. Like, that one, we've all saw with our own eyes, he played well against Cleveland. I've heard, it looks like from like you saying, like you got Ravens folks saying he looked good and poised. You from your eyes that he looked good in these two days of joint practice. And to me, these are tests because you're playing against the Ravens. It's another team now, so another team that you get to go against who don't know you. They're saying no locker room with you. Like, this is your enemy because he's your opponent, and you looked all right against them. So it's like, all right, if you done that, like, all right, announce it, bro.
Like go ahead.
Ain't that serious?
And I know it was still kind of like a competing for a job. I know Coach Rivera made comments about not sleeping on Jacoby. I mean,
all that,
even across the media, we've had different takes on what that meant. I took that in terms of it was almost like people were conveying Jacoby was sorry or something. You know what I mean? He's a great.
Yeah,
he's a great quarterback. He was a starter. He's been a starter in this league.
He's been a starter in this league.
He had a decent year last year too. He had a decent year last year. He ain't a bad player.
And I tell people to put things in perspective. Like Marcus Mariota is backing up Jalen Hurts. I mean, you have to have good backups, whether they were once starters, whatever. Like that is a very important position. So somebody being a backup doesn't convey that they're sorry or they're not performing up to par or they're all, you know what I mean? You got you just never know what may happen, barring
and
any injuries, but you gotta have great depth and solid depth. Really, if you can, and you're fortunate to have it, and you still under the salary cap at every position, if you could, but I don't know. It's like, even with the depth, I'm hearing a lot now about, on the defensive end side and all of that. Like, hey, if Chase is healthy, ain't nobody taking Chase job.
Oh, facts. I don't care about
Cut that narrative out. If he all right, he's playing.
He's playing. He's definitely playing. But one thing, they sleep on Jacoby. You can't remember. Jacoby backed up Tom Brady, right? Jimmy G was gone. Jacoby Brissett was there. He learned He played well. He looked in a good room. Jacoby he had a great season last year, right? They had a decent season last year. Good numbers. One of the best seasons last year. Even when he played this year, the first week against the Browns, and people talk about the interception at the end, he was just throwing something, right?
He stood up. He was testing.
He still had a good season, right? He was able to move. He scored a touchdown for the team. He was able to. Right,
he was sharp. No, Jacoby was sharp early. He was sharp.
So when I know Sam Howell's the name, but when you look at the play of Jacoby Brissett, it's still good, right? And you have to try Sam Howell. I'm not mad if something happened to Sam and Jacoby Brissett go in. I think he can still do the same thing.
I don't have any concern. It's not a knock on anybody if they're QB2, Q1, that's how I took Coach Rivera. I know ultimately we all know it's Eric Bieniemy's call for certain.
Facts. Yes, that's his call.
That's facts.
That is a fact.
Arno had no say so in that.
And he better not. And he better not.
Better just leave that alone.
No.
No, I'm with you. I mean, one, I think Sam is him. I'm not gonna hold you. I think Sam is him. I do. I think Sam Howell, he got it. There's a thing. I think Jacoby is a good player. I think Jacoby to me is a guy that he's a good manager. No, and I hate when people think that managing is a bad term. He's a good manager. Like, he ain't gonna lose you a game. Like, Jacoby will not lose you a game.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he won't. Like Taylor Heineke can lose you a game. Jacoby will not lose you a game. You're sorry, Heineke. I'm just keeping it a buck. But like to me, but Sam Howell is him. He can win you some games with his play, and he can make plays. Like I said, he's a baller. So I just think that's the difference. I just want Ron to just come out and just say it. Like, nobody cares. Okay, I don't like this innuendo crap. I don't care for it. Like the only
he's doing that.
Yeah, I don't know. He's playing against the Ravens. Like, if he has, I don't see him having a horrible game against the Ravens on Monday night. Yeah, if he has a horrible game, I guess you could change your mind. But one thing, like, if you trust your eyes and you've seen what this kid has done, again, from reporters like you, Candi, and even from OTAs to mini camp to training camp to a preseason game, to a joint practice, 2 days of joint practice. This dude has been consistently getting better and has done well. I ain't in the building, but I trust people like you, and I've seen and I've heard it. And this dude has been doing has everything. Every time I hear something, it's something positive about this kid.
Yeah.
Which is different.
Good O-line
exactly. The only thing they trash is the O-line. The consistent theme has been the O-line. That's one thing that I've heard, that the O-line has not looked good. That is the consistent thing. Sam Howell has looked good from every report that we've had on this show. And if I look on Twitter or if I read material from people I trust, it all says Sam Howell has been doing good. So to me, usually when a quarterback is struggling, this market of folks will let you know. Like, they love controversy. Like, folks here love quarterback controversy.
Especially at the quarterback position.
Yeah, they love it. So if he was struggling, we would all know. Like, that's the thing. We would all know.
Let's hope the quarterback controversy is over, though.
Yeah, Let's hope so. I mean, for some reason, people really think the last game of the season against the Cowboys was a fluke. That was
they failed to what happened. They failed to realize the Cowboys were playing for a playoff.
They were playing. I don't want to hear.
They was playing for a playoff position. They was playing to kind of move up.
They were playing for the division. This is what it was. The Eagles. They didn't know. Like, they had when the score. They had to make sure the score was in doubt before they started chilling. Like, that's what it was. Like, they didn't like just taper down. Like, yes, because they got their butts beat Then it was like they were getting their butts beat. Oh, they didn't play that hard. No,
They're playing for the division.
no, they were playing for the division. You could see the score. The score was still close enough, and they were still playing hard. And Washington was already up more than double digits. Like, no, don't do that. Like that.
That was in that whole game. They played their starters basically.
Like if you
until
playing, you
maybe
trying.
Like the middle of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
They
If you
were
playing,
that
look,
game.
look. I've like if you playing, you trying. I've said this in anything in sports. If you play some half, you know what, you get hurt. So if you on that field and you playing, you ain't playing half. You know what? Because if you play half, you getting hurt. So if you on that field, you playing hard. They played hard and they got their butts beat in that game. That's why it was. And Sam Howell beat them. Like he played well and beat them. That's what it is. So to your point, Candi, you're right. People need to stop ignoring that game and try to use that and say like to discredit that game. They got to stop discrediting that game. He played well and he's carried that game on. Then that's what it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Straight up. I was like, I don't know why people acting like, no, that's Sam. That's Sam.
Agreed. So all right, so Candi's going to Monday night. They playing the Ravens Monday night. How play the quarter and some change on Saturday.
I definitely think they need to play till they get 7. I love that approach because we haven't seen that in a while around.
Okay. I was going to ask you even more than that. Not just 7. I think he could see a whole half, but I
think he should play a half.
Okay.
This is going to be the last one he plays.
This is going to definitely be the last one he plays.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But it's got to be a half for sure. But even when they play, because you might as well say, I felt like they was almost going to play a half because in game 1, they were going to play until they scored a touchdown. Period.
Okay, got you. Okay.
And they scored the touchdown. What was that? Mid-second quarter?
That was like early second. Because early second. Because it bled in. It was the first quarter and they bled into the first. It bled into the second.
The second quarter. Right. So cool. But to your point, easily a half.
Okay.
That was what I would think. I would be shocked if Coach Bieniemy did not have them. If they just did, touchdown and everybody come out. I would be shocked because the O-line needs that work.
They do. So we have it on Twitter we asked, do you think Sam Howell will play the whole first half against the Ravens? 73% said yes, 27% said no. Yeah, I think, I agree. I think they should play the whole half. I don't have an issue either when they score a touchdown. It depends how slick that first drive looks though. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be mad at it. Like if he goes like 9 for 9 or something for a touchdown off the rip, it wouldn't bother me if they did gank him. It would have to be something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like for me to be like,
definitely collapsed a few times. I'm not even gonna fake.
In joint practices, or are you just talking about in Cleveland?
Joint practices today? Yes.
Yeah. Who's the weakest one on the O-line?
It's that left guard position.
And who was that?
Charles and Chris Paul.
Both of them were weak. Mm-hmm. Both. I heard Sadiq he got hurt,
Sadiq
right?
did well yesterday.
But I heard he did well. Yeah, but I heard, did he get hurt again?
That calf is still an issue for him.
Yeah.
He did well yesterday. Maybe they brought him back too soon or whatever. But Andrew Wiley got worked a few times. He actually got worked in the game a couple times though.
No. You're being nice. He got worked. No, he got worked. No, he got worked hard.
We talk about that on post game show.
Yeah, he got worked. All right, he got worked. All right, he got worked. He got worked by some second stringer too. He got worked. So he got worked again. He got worked again. In joint.
So
you see the facial expressions, right?
Sam Cosmi holding it down, but in practice he tweaked something. He went back out there.
Okay.
But left guard is a concern of mine. I've been talking about it. Even center. Sometimes Nick Gates, that those high snaps is like.
Okay, so I've heard that on the radio. So he is really bad at that, huh? He's bad at snapping. He's bad at it, huh?
I mean, it's.
Get his butt down.
Okay, and then it started messing up again, but again, that's why I'm like, Sam Howell was really poor. Like he's really holding it together. Like he's, but my only hope is that these guys can do anything but just improve. Because Terry made a comment yesterday in his presser, like, because we're like in the middle of camp. We're not in camp, it's in the middle of camp. And I'm like, But I guess when you really think about it from a calendar perspective, he's right. You know,
Yeah.
it's still camp, I believe, considered camp until I guess the Bengals game. Like the Bengals
Yeah.
game is August 26th, and then they,
Yeah,
do
so in the camp,
final roster. So it's camp until then. I think last camp practice, and maybe it's what, the 25th, the 24th, the 25th, and then that game is the 26th. And then then camp is over, and then it's the regular season. So I think they're still thinking they're in a good spot for progress.
Got you. So they can still grow.
It's not like they're regressing.
Got
And
you.
of course, barring any injury, everybody stay healthy. They, feel good about where they are right now.
Yeah, I think that works for as well. I think that does work for like individual players or even like quarterbacks or like defensive players. I don't think it works for offensive line though. I kind of think you are who you are. I mean, I feel like it's just, I think the Cosme thing is consistent. Yeah, right. I think the Cosme thing is consistent. Like that's one thing I'm a believer in. When you hear about like a particular player and he constantly like, oh yeah, Sam Cosme has been good. Like he's been good at guard. Like, like he's the only one people talk about though. Like no one talks about anybody else. Like you said, Gage. Like I've heard that bad snaps.
Well, yeah, no. And when I first, I was like, we were like 3 days in, 4 days in, and I was complaining about it. And some of our colleagues was like, you complaining about this already? Yes,
yeah, you should.
am. Because I think that's going to keep being an issue.
It is.
Sure enough, it's still been an issue.
Yeah, see,
that's a problem.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
And he's being really quiet. It's Charles Leno. People don't really want to say it. They don't really want to.
So how does he look? That's the thing I'm trying. How does he look? Not
up and down.
I see. That's like last year. He was up and down last year. That's the thing. Like, so it's, and to me,
you get no consistency. That's the thing.
There's no consistency, and there's no knock. And I feel like I don't want to be the one that knocks. I'm not knocking Charles Leno because I'm really not. I'm not gonna do that. I know that I acknowledge me. Like I know I'm spoiled because I saw the best tackle in Trent Williams. I'm spoiled. Like I'm spoiled, and I've even followed his team for years. I saw Chris Samuels. I've seen great left tackles here, man. Like I've seen great left tackles here. Like I would argue to say that we've had like some of the best left tackles that ever played the game, period, in this organization. And so when I see a guy, a lesser tier tackle, like compared to those dudes, right? Because I'm used to seeing a blind side being protected. Like that's a normal for me. Like even when this team was horrible, like I've always seen that blind side protected pretty well, pretty much. Yeah. And like Leno is a dude that's just not on that ilk. And don't mean he bad. Like I'm not calling him bad. Actually, I'm not. I just know that he's up and down. Like he can get beat easy.
He's not at that standard.
He's not that standard.
You're not the standard that you used to see.
Yeah, he's exactly. So when you say inconsistent, I'm like, yeah, but your best old lineman should be your left tackle. Like in essence, like that's supposed to be your best left tackle, your best old lineman.
It is. Most quarterback right hand should be your best tackle.
Yeah, it should be your best lineman. Period. So it's scary. Like I hope he just changes his play. I hope he changes up and plays well. You know what I mean?
Look what we're talking about, right? And you're talking about who's supposed to be their best. Your best two offensive linemen supposed to be your left tackle and your center, right?
And
center,
supposed to be,
they're supposed to be that guy, right?
Yeah,
they're supposed to be those two dudes, right?
Intelligent, your center's
intelligent, knows everybody knows call, and not worried. He's supposed to be called. He's supposed to be worried about making checks and calls, not worried about if he can get the snap right.
It's crazy, man.
Right?
Crazy. I heard he is mean though. I heard the center play. I heard he plays mean.
He's mean, but look, I've coached.
I like that though. I like that. That's one thing I do like.
He will slap somebody.
Good.
Yeah, but it's all right. You can slap somebody, but you can't get the quarterback the ball.
I know that sucks. But that does suck.
I would like for him to be able to do both.
Yes, me too, man. I just want
got one job.
He would be vicious. If he could do both, he would be vicious because it's absolutely.
I do think that he's good because this team. I know Cosby plays at a mean streak too, which I do like though.
No, he's good, I do. Bro. Do your one job first.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. No, I'm with you, Glenn. No, I'm with you, Glenn. I'm totally with you. I just, for me, this old line just has a bunch of nice people.
That's funny you said that because I definitely went on my rant. Like you can't be out here slapping people with these bad snaps. I need you to be able to do that
and everywhere,
and then slap people.
I just need people. I just want to be slapped so they can just.
He's probably been in about 3 or 4 different scuffles throughout. He's
Because
Kind of consistently involved in some.
we all know with this team, what's going to happen is in the key situation, right? Key situation, we need to get things
personal
done.
fouls.
No, not even that. Bad snap.
Oh yeah, that too.
In a key situation.
It could happen.
So you got to get.
I wanted to draft my center from Michigan, but they didn't do it, so it's all good. They decided to get do from New York. It's all good. I'm not going to even I was going that's what I wanted him to get. But they didn't get him, but it's all good. I ain't going to even be. He's not. He's actually local from Hyattsville.
Yeah. I know.
Michigan. Yeah, he's Nigerian too.
Right. I know exactly what you're talking about.
He went to Michigan too. He went to Michigan. He was the best. Seattle. He played for Seattle. Seattle. They try to make him start center in Seattle. So it's all good though. That's what I wanted, but they ain't want. They didn't listen to me. Washington never listens to me.
Yeah, because who else is it? Ricky Stromberg, Noah Laufenberg.
Yeah, they I heard how the Stromberg look. He look all right. Somebody tried to gas him up. He all right.
He's okay.
Thought so. I knew he wasn't that good. All right, so I'm not that. Look, I'm being mean. Not that. I know he wasn't that type of dude. All right, so before I let you go, Candi, I'm gonna ask one more question.
Yeah.
What player needs a good game the most in this Baltimore game? Because this is the best competition. They had joint practices. This is probably the most heated test they're going to get in preseason. The last game, all benches, all backups are playing. This is it. Like, which player needs this game the most?
That's a really hard question. I'm gonna go Dax.
Okay, that's a good one. I agree with that one. I like that one. I hope he doesn't play well, but I like that one. Yeah,
because
I like that one.
The thankless job of the offensive line, and people just not understand. I feel like a vast majority still doesn't understand the importance of your offensive line. So I don't know what's going to happen if Sadiq still can't play, and it is what it is. To be the starter if he can't play. If not, then it's Chris Paul, right? But I think it's Dax Milne. Because there's other options.
Yes, there's other options.
Just facts on top of facts. There's other options, and there's other options for that role, and
a lot of options.
If they need another depth spot for O-line or something like that, he could absolutely be the one to go.
Yes. And there's
always cut down. On that first, when he stepped out of bounds, I said, all right, bye, Dax. See you later.
Yeah, I know.
Okay?
You was already saying bye. I said bye when I saw him out there. I was like, why are you out there? Bye.
But I know,
I said bye last year.
We did,
bro. I've been saying bye. Catch the ball and you out of bounds. Like, how you catch the ball out of bounds? Come on, Dax.
He ain't built for this, man. I don't even know, man.
But I think it's really him. By a long shot. I'm interested to see how this defensive back situation plays out too.
Okay. I would like. Do you think it will Chase play? You think Chase is going to play in the Monday night game?
He hasn't played in joint practices, so he's not going to play.
Probably not.
I doubt it very seriously since he.
I do think they need to. I agree with what you said. I think it's Dax is number one, but I do think because I didn't like how the defense looked in that against Cleveland in that first drive, the first team defense.
Talk about that.
I think they need to. They need to show dominance. That I will say.
Listen, hey. One thing that I've been trying to put in perspective for folks is, okay, offense, new offensive coordinator, new offensive line, another new quarterback.
Yeah.
3 of your most important things, all new.
Sure.
Jack Del Rio ain't got that issue.
Yeah, exactly.
This
I agree.
Is Jack's defense. He's been a part of every single person who has been drafted. He has been a part of every single person on that side of the football being drafted. And anybody new comes right into the fold of an established group of veterans that knows how this thing works.
Sure.
If they don't prove that they are one of the best, defenses in the league, and it makes a statement on the scoreboard, break it up.
I know. I'm with it.
You know what I mean? Like, come on. What we do? Nobody's spending $6 billion to lose. Everybody keeps forgetting the big joker is the Josh Harris group. That's the big joker. Yeah. $6 billion okay, with a head coach, and you can count Jack Del Rio as well,
Yeah.
right? Who has literally drafted almost everybody on the team himself. Almost everybody. It's a couple that's left, from Jay Gruden era, but still, this is Ron's team. This is the team he's built. They got what, 4 or 5 Pro Bowlers?
Yeah.
Right. So you have Pro Bowlers and an All Pro in every single position. You got somebody on offense and Terry McLaurin. Shoot, you got some, a Tressway and a Jeremy Reeves on special teams, and you got all your Pro Bowl defense players. You didn't lose anybody. For real. You didn't lose anybody. So I pay $6 billion. Oh, we better make some noise immediately. They don't have a large room for error.
Gotcha.
I don't think it's a whole, even with the newness on the offense, I don't think it's a big, oh, well, it's, sometimes you say you got to give them time. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think they have that time. I don't think they have that time.
You have to put butts in seats.
Yeah, and they're going to get that, but it's going to go old real quick.
You lose.
Yeah. The first couple of weeks go good, but the 18 inches is what's gonna make the difference. When you talk about $6 billion, I need a lot of people. I need a lot of folks sitting in them those 18-inch seats in order for it. And we know. And you've been at camp, 10,000 fans at camp, right?
Yeah,
ain't been there in a long time. It's a buzz around this team. If you want to keep the buzz,
they got 10,000 folks.
Yes. Outside, and they changed the rules. They over there like the Ravens now. No, that's why you haven't seen really any videos going viral from Commanders camp. Shut your phones off. They tell the fans, if we see you taking pictures or you got video, we putting you out. That's what winning teams do, because they do that over there.
Yeah, they over there. They do.
Kansas City Chiefs, all of them, they shut it down.
Yeah. Patriots too.
And it was never like that.
Never like that. Never like that.
Ever.
They needed all the buzz they could get back in there. But they have shut that. So again, you got for 10,000 fans, that's 10,000 more tickets than you had last year, right?
Yep.
Then the stands gonna be rocking. But you know as well as we do, if that thing goes south, them seats will be empty again.
They better figure something out, because they played the Eagles week 4, October 1st.
Yes.
In Philly. You better not have no losing record going in that game. That's all I'm saying. I didn't say be undefeated. You just better not have a losing record.
No, I trust EB. So I mean,
I trust him too. I
trust him too. I trust him too.
I trust him too. But the defense has to be the difference.
I agree. I agree.
Is the struggle bus people, and all of it. The defense, it has to show up on the scoreboard.
No, I agree. I think the defense. I do. I agree. I do. But go ahead, Glenn.
I think it will. I think the takeaways. I think we have more takeaways.
Yeah.
When you mentioned earlier, Emmanuel Forbes, he's a ball hawk. He's always around the football, right? You got those guys that will be around the ball. You got Deron Payne. You got Jonathan Allen. You got a healthy Chase Young, right? I know I'm saying that, right? A healthy Chase Young. A Montez Sweat, guys who playing with Kyle. I think this defense will step up. I think they will get the offense the ball back in key situations or a good field position, and I think the offense will be able to put more points on the board.
It's a good field position. Yeah. That's why Dax better do something, because if the offense is struggling, they need a shorter
field.
They need a shorter field.
I will say this though. This is all I want to see in preseason this game. Like, I just want to see from the defense, because I do know you don't scheme things up. I understand that.
Right.
I understand that. Totally understand that. But I think that there are things that do resonate and that does transfer into the regular season. Mm-hmm. Good tackling. Like, I need you to tackle and bring folks down. If you watch the Cleveland Browns in that game, they tackled well against Washington. Like, that first unit tackled well. Like, they weren't missing tackles. They were putting people down. That translates. So for me, I don't like, you're not gonna stop everybody. Like, but when you get your hands on somebody, you put them down. That's why I like the second unit a lot. For Washington, because when they tackle, they put you down. Like, all of them, Butler, all those kids, them young boys, they did. Hudson, all them dudes is putting folks
Jeremy
down.
Jeremy out there with the second unit too.
Yeah. Jerry Reese too. Sorry, he was putting folks down. All of them, they weren't missing tackles. That is all I care about. Like, from your first unit, I don't really like. I don't like. I talk about, like, I joke around and having dogs or the thugs or whatever, this, that, and the other. But there's some truth to it. Like, I want you to hit people and let people know you in the building early. Like that's how I look at preseason. That's all I care about. Don't care if you blitz. That's great to me. 'Cause I think you're teaching aggression. I think it's great, but I'm not owning it that. But you tackle people and you tackle them well, I'm cool with it.
Right. This place can no longer, this place, whatever it is in FedEx Field or where the stadium goes, this town can no longer be where a visiting teams can come for a home game.
Yeah.
No,
I agree.
Can't be.
It can't be that no more. It's got to be done.
Yeah.
And but that starts with the product on the field. So I agree with you. It has to be in a way where people aren't getting kicked out of a game. But next time Kirk Cousins got to talk about that game specifically on a show, you better come up with the W, is all I'm saying.
Facts.
You got Kirk Cousins remembering when you decked him, and I don't know who hit me. I don't know if y'all saw quarterback.
Yeah,
you talking about Deron Payne. Yeah,
Deron Payne.
I don't know who hit me. I don't know, but they lost that game.
Yeah, I know.
They were. They were putting it. They were putting Kirk.
They
lost
that game.
They lost that game late, and they was dominating the Minnesota Vikings for 3.5.
Yeah, Taylor Heineke threw that pick. That's why.
Heineke threw that pick.
Taylor Heineke threw that pick. The one.
Facts.
Yeah, the Heineke high won't say that though.
But they definitely have to be the smart. They need to be like I joked about it, but I said it on the show. It's like they're receivers on defense. That's what they need to be.
I agree. No, I totally agree.
Because if the offense can't get going, somebody's got to score the points.
Oh, they got to smack them. They got
the
defense. The defense got to smack them. I totally agree. Well, hey, Candi, this has been great, man. It's great talking to you. This has been awesome. Before we let you go, let our listeners know how they can catch you on social media. Also, catch your content for Bowie. Your Facebook Live for for your podcast, everything. Like plug everything right now. The floor is yours.
Okay, all right. Let me go down the list. So on Twitter, find me. It's at CWallSC, but you can also now follow Bowie TV Sports on Twitter and Bowie TV Sports on Instagram. And thank you so much. Then for me, it's CWall Sports on Instagram, CWall Sports and Entertainment on Facebook. You can go to my website, www.cwallse.com. I also, because it always reminds me, there's also am the managing publisher for Inside the Wizards on Sports Illustrated Fan Nation. So for all of your Washington Wizards content, make sure you bookmark on Sports Illustrated Fan Nation Inside the Wizards. We still have content pumping on there as well, even in the middle of training camp.
Awesome. Yeah, you don't have a YouTube channel yet? You have a YouTube channel?
Yes, Bowie TV has a YouTube channel.
Man, look,
I'm gonna start putting a piece of paper because I'm like,
look, I work it. Look, I work it. I make sure you put all that.
Bowie TV at BCMC Maryland. You'll find it. It'll pop up.
I found it. That's why I said it. I knew you had it. I just want you to make sure you said it.
Yeah, all of that. And if you haven't
everything.
Yep, all my shows come on Bowie TV every day. Verizon Channel 11, Comcast Xfinity Channel 77. The Coaching from the Couch series.
That's what I'm talking about. There you go. Now you plugged it everything. That's what I'm talking about. Now you plugged everything. There you go. Hey man, make sure you check her out, man. She's dope, man. She really is. She catches everything, man. We talk about the Wizards, the Commanders, the Mystics. She got everything pumping, man. She's in the game, man. She's in the game. So make sure you check her out. All right, man. Before we end the show, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Let me run down some particulars too again, so I can make sure y'all subscribe to our stuff too. Because before I end this, I'm tired. I want to go to the gym. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. So I'm still gonna plug this stuff though real quick. Hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Just search all Burgundy and Gold Errrything. Also tweet us at ABG_Errrything. And hit us up on IG at ABG_Errrything. And like our all Burgundy and Gold Errrything Facebook page. You're watching this video, so you're on YouTube and you're watching it. That red subscribe button, hit that. The little thumbs up. Hit that too. Don't hit the thumbs down because people trash. That's hating. Don't do that. I don't care if you don't like somebody's podcast. Don't hit the thumbs down. That's just hating. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. That's just hate. That's some hateful stuff. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Anyway, man, appreciate Candi for being on. You know what I'm saying? Glenn and I holding it down. Ray, Jeezy, Mo out, but hopefully we have them back on. Anyway, you've been listening to All Burgundy and Gold Errrything, powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia, 4 ages. You dig? Deuces, a mega. Lead us out, big homie.